Hello there, Internet. Remember, like, about 9 months ago when I was all like, if you didn't know,
hold on,
you might want to, like, fast forward. But in honor of today being Valentine's Day, I thought that I would tell a little story-o about how this whole day got started. Well, looking back on that video just a couple days ago, I realized, hey, that's a pretty decent idea, telling the whole backstory of all these weirdo holidays that we have here in America. And so, in honor of Halloween happening in, like, I don't know, 6 days, I figured, let's learn about that. Woo! Also, before we get any further, I'd like to give a special thanks to my good friend Wikipedia, right over there on that computer monitor, for giving me all of the information I may need for this production.
Life unedited.
So, upon delving deep into the treasure trove of knowledge found on the internet, just like a proverbial Scrooge McDuck, I've discovered that Halloween seems to be based on two distinct holiday traditions. The first is a Scottish holiday, which seems oddly coincidental given my earlier reference to Scrooge McDuck. This is the holiday that gives us most of the Halloween actual customs, the things that we do, taking the prize for festivals that don't sound anything like they are spelled. Samhain, or Samhain, was, as you might expect, an end-of-the-harvest type festival, when the Scots believed that the spirit world got a lot closer to the material world, and so the crossover could kind of occur. This is a fairly common thing in older, more superstitious cultures, because as the nights got longer and the days got darker, everything seemed a whole lot more mysterious. This could be a good thing, because it meant that people could see their dead relatives and all that, but it also could be bad, because as everyone knows, there are lots of bad and frightening evil spirits out there who will come in and invade your life and ruin it. In order to protect themselves from the evil spirits, people would set up bonfires or feasts to try and appease them, or scary-looking things like jack-o'-lanterns to try and scare them away. As is fairly obvious, we've taken those scary, freaky things and pretty directly applied them to our own Halloween celebration. As for the actual time of year and the name of Halloween, well, that, fun fact, comes from a Christian holiday called All Saints' Day. Now, obviously, All Saints' Day doesn't sound anything like Halloween. However, the day before All Saints' Day, obviously, there was All Hallows' Eve. Hallow, of course, meaning holy or saintly, and Eve meaning night. In Scottish, the word Eve is the word even, and it often gets shortened to just Een. So, over time, All Hallows' Eve became Halloween. There you go. Of course, All Saints' Day took place on November 1st, just before All Souls' Day on November 2nd, and just after All Hallows' Eve, Halloween on October 31st. So there you go. That answers about 90% of the origin of Halloween, but there's one thing left that I think most of you probably consider to be the most important part of the holiday, and that, of course, is going around in strange costumes and gorging yourself on the candy that people give out. This, of course, is what has come to be known as Beggar's Night, or in the far more common phraseology, trick-or-treating. Strangely enough, trick-or-treating seems to come from the Christian holiday, not the weirdo pagan Scottish one. You see, all the churches back then were Catholic, and of course they had this whole deal with purgatory and indulgences and doing things for dead people to make their death better. One way that they did this was on All Saints' Day, or Hallowmas as the entire festival was called, they would go around house to house, knocking on doors, and singing essentially carols for the dead people. In exchange, the people in the house would give them little cakes called soul cakes, and those were supposed to kind of act as indulgences or something. Wikipedia is kind of confusing, that would help their loved ones get out of purgatory faster. It's not too hard to see then that people walking around knocking on doors and asking for cakes pretty easily became the thing where we all get a bunch of sugar and then crash for the next 4 hours. The whole wearing costumes on Halloween, that stems back to the weirdo Scottish pagans who would dress themselves up in order to hide from the creepy spirits and fairies. So there you go, hope you've been edumacated. Turns out that Halloween is both equally Christian and pagan. Who knew? So come next week when you're wandering around dark neighborhoods in the middle of the night wearing costumes and asking for candy, keep an eye out for any creepy spirits or fairies that might be out there. However, I wouldn't recommend trying to bake any cakes for your dead loved ones. That might not go over so well. Until next time, Internet, deuces.